Welcome in, everybody.
I love how he's blaming me.
It was, I thought you were coming in here and you were going to be
I love
like,
how he's blaming me.
lickety-split. I mean, like, you know what, I got to pee. So I'm like, you know what, man's got to pee. So I let it happen. Big Bob, Zeno, Sarcastic Grandpa,
I get
Chai Cat.
1.5 bio breaks a day.
What's I don't know why the half got me. Like, wait a second. Does that mean you went number one, or I don't? Welcome in.
Technically a poop joke.
Technically.
See what I have to deal with, chat?
What a day.
Cal Sparks, a wizard is never late.
That's right. And so every time Jason comes in here, I say, Jason.
A wizard is never late.
And I say, good morning. That's your pitch.
Oh, gosh.
What do you mean, good morning?
Yeah, what do you mean, good morning?
That's what
Good afternoon.
No,
Guy doesn't know his time.
I know my time. Welcome in, everybody. Big Bob, Little Billy, fired. Speaking of poo, welcome in, Chris. Wow.
Bump. Little Billy. Doing the Lord's work.
That's what we're calling it now. that's what we're calling it now. We're calling Little Billy's. You have your Vespids. Show the group what we did on Hobby Night before you do your other stuff.
Oh, I was working on sting wings.
Look at those eyes. I love how those eyes came out.
Sting wings. Just, yeah.
Those came out great.
Yeah, and then I have somewhere I've started putting the basing material down. So
oh, nice.
They're
Classic
getting closer,
feel.
But good God, it's taking forever.
Classic.
Every time I think I'm a step closer with these guys, it's like, oh yeah, just doing the highlights on the wings, and there's 5 million wings, it turns out, because each one of them has 4.
There's a lot of wings. We're doing some Surfer Girl today. Welcome in, everybody. It's a beautiful Monday morning here at Monument Hobbies.
It is not morning, Chris.
It is somewhere.
It's not.
Okay, let's think about this. Is it morning somewhere?
Here we go. Yes, on like Jupiter, it's morning. Thank you.
So you're telling me I've got this down right?
No,
I'm painting up the Mineworks dealer, so I'll be radio silent for most of the stream today. Hey, Lumberjack, I love that you said something. Thank you. I'm glad.
I mean, your radio's silent.
Don't be silent. Speaking of silent, hello, Silent Seth.
You mean radio silent? Because you're looking at a model? I talk and paint. Tim.
Silent Seth. Are we having hot wings?
Get with the program.
No. We're not having hot wings, Michael Holtz.
Hot wings? What? Huh?
Jason's got a little bit of some skin work up today. We're going to be doing some freehand this week. He's going to be doing some details on her still today. We've got a lot left on this gal, and she's looking great. Now, I'm hesitant to say that Jason might finish this model.
No. Maybe? No, and no.
You will.
And once again, no.
You'll finish this.
That is not what we do here.
You'll finish this model for sure.
We do not finish models.
Excuse me. I'm painting skeletons right now, so I'm not currently applying these skin lessons, says the Grand Deceiver. That's fine.
That is not what we're here to do. We are not here to finish models. That's a no-no. I got to tell you.
Tell me.
Basing those models yesterday, the only thing you need to know is that the tube is where it's at.
The tub is dead.
The tub is dead. I have a bunch of naysayers on the internet trying to tell me that the tub is the way to go, bro.
I think
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And
well, it was broke, and I did fix it.
I think it's something that people have just...
You have to experience, because like just putting the stuff out on the base yesterday was just so easy.
They're so used to the old ways.
I hate basing, and it was just so easy.
They're used to the old ways.
Make your life better. Do it now.
Anna says, I started a skin workup with light umber and attempted to use caramel brown to highlight, but it doesn't feel right. What are other options for a color to move into?
From light umber on skin?
Yeah.
To caramel brown?
Caramel brown.
Caramel brown is a little... I mean, it's not bad, but it's not a skin tone per se. You can mix it in with others. I think... I would have to see what skin you're working on where light umber is in your workup, right? Light umber being a kind of a neutral brown. Both the dark umber and the light umber are very neutral, so they don't have any warmth to them. So you need to warm it up in order to make it feel alive. So, you know, maybe light umber and shadow flesh mixed together, and then come out of that into like beige red. Beige red may be able to work just right over the umber, right?
Ooh, I love beige red.
So beige red is a great color. Let me grab light umber real quick. Dark, light. So if you had light umber in it, you need to bring something that has some life into it. And so beige red mixed in with it could work, because beige red gets you a little bit of brightness too. So you can mix those together and you can do pretty well. It would start pulling it in. Remember that this color, when you look at it, may not be what you want the skin to look at, but think of it in terms of doing a 50-50 mixture. Because it sounds like you're doing, if you're looking at caramel brown, is you're looking for a way to go a little bit brighter out of umber and stay in that same brown with a color in the bottle. And the problem with caramel is that it's going to move you into more of a yellowish tone, right? And I just don't think that's going to feel right. All three of these could work, right? So you could mix in the beige red with either of those and get yourself some lively skin working. That would be kind of a Pacific Asian flesh tone almost. Middle Eastern, Pacific Asian, that kind of area. Like that whole, like, you know, anything from the Mediterranean, India, over through the Philippines and stuff would be kind of a neat workup that I would play with. But you need something that brings a little bit of pinkishness into it, right? Because no matter what skin tone you're trying to do, assuming you're doing humans, which I'm assuming, then you're going to want to have something that has a little bit of life to it like that. Maka some sense.
Hop on in, folks. The water's fine. It's summer. Jason's painting today, I think. We'll see what he gets to.
I don't know, man.
What's the matter, man?
I don't know, man.
What's the matter, man?
I don't
Surf's
know.
up, dude.
I don't know, bruh.
Okay. I don't know. That one doesn't feel... That's one of those things that Jason shouldn't say, because I feel like there would be a... Why did you say brah?
What's up, brah?
So, if y'all didn't notice, I have a new camera. And
he does.
Check this out.
Look how much better he looks.
Because this is such a sharp lens on this camera, has very close focus. Wow. I'm looking at you, chat.
It's very in your face, Christopher.
I'm looking at you.
I'm
looking at you, little Billy.
Very in your face.
Everybody take a deep breath, okay?
It's very in your face.
Take in the beautiful Monday. We're all so blessed to be here. My name is Christopher. This is Jason. We're Monument Hobbies.
Hello, Christopher. How are you doing today?
Today's a Monday. I'll say that, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It keeps your mind straight.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. After a good hobby day, and I say this in a polite way, right? It's hard to get back into the flow of work after a good hobby day, because you're like, dang, I just want to keep doing that.
I can see that.
Which is fine. Loved it. Got a lot done. I'm like, oh, now I got to go home. I got to go to bed. You know?
I can see that. I
went
went home.
Good.
I beat the boss.
Oh, you did?
I did beat the boss.
Yeah.
And that was good. That was good. Found that enjoyable. And then
on Magic Craft.
On Magic Craft, yes.
Yeah.
I had a hell of a build going. I finished my run. I was only about 50% through. I thought it was a lot further. So I had a lot of time I had to spend getting through the rest of it, but it was just like steamrolling. My build just came together so nicely in the beginning, and then it just steamrolled. It got to the point where I was like, I don't even care anymore, dude. Just get me to the end.
Yeah.
And then it got a little tricky. So if you're not familiar, there's an amazing game out there called Magic Craft.
Magic Craft. That's all one word.
All one word.
Capital M-A. No, I'm kidding.
We don't give promotion here. We
No,
don't
I'm
do
sorry.
that.
No free pub.
press.
No free
free
pub.
pub.
This is painting. This is us. No free pub. That's a show. My goodness. Chris, what are your thoughts on peak cinematic masterpieces that is Surf's Up, starring Shia LaBeouf, Jeff Bridges, and Zooey Deschanel? Never seen that movie.
His favorite movie.
I'm sure it's as good as the title.
Don't let him lie to you. It's his favorite flick. He talks
What's
about
up,
it all
Cannibal?
the time. We can't get him to shut up about it.
Emerson, I tried edge highlights over Tau orange armor, and a lot of the bright yellows were showing a lot of green. Okay, Emerson. I like these facts that you tell us. in your painting world. We can't be right there with you. But if you have a specific question, I can have Jason answer that.
Were you doing the yellows over black?
Yeah.
Because that's what will turn the yellows into greens. Is going over, obviously blues will, but doing yellow straight over black, like black primer and such, will kind of green some yellows out. So you got to be careful with that.
No, it's over tau orange armor. Okay, so not black, orange armor. Interesting.
And the yellows turned green over orange?
That's what it says. And a lot of your bright yellows were showing a lot of green.
What bright yellows?
Yeah, what yellows were you using?
We have a bright yellow green.
That's a bright yellow green for the late person.
But it's green.
I do like a good light
over orange,
yellow.
You won't get any green.
Bright yellow green is my favorite color. One of them. Not my favorite color. I can't pick favorites. But if I had to pick a favorite, it'd probably be olive flesh.
You tend to act like you have favorites all the time, Christopher.
I don't want to admit it, but I think I might. Olive flesh, dark yellow green, Payne's gray.
Oh, dark yellow green, Payne's gray.
Dark yellow green. Uh-oh. My little camera froze. Uh-oh. Why? Hold. We're fine. Chris is not functional right now, it looks like. There you go. Interesting. The mo you know.
Interesting.
First, when you bring somebody new into your group, right? He's a great guy. His name's Sani, right? And Sani, right here. This camera, right?
No, it's Sony.
No. It's Sani. No free pub. And he's a really great guy. I'm looking at him right now. So we're going to see how he performs today. He's kind of under evaluation, chat. Droth Vader. I thought Chris's favorite color was matte varnish. I do like matte varnish. He's not my favorite color. He just fits really well in our perfect toolkit.
Perfect toolkit. I'm interested on the yellow turning green thing because in my
Emerson,
head, going over orange, that's not a thing, right? Because yellow over orange will give you more bright oranges and things like that. So I'm interested in what color.
Emerson, tell us more.
Combo you got, so we can help you out.
If you're still out there, tell us more. Ooh,
because like bismuth yellow, depending on how you use it, it's a very bright lemony green. So bismuth could appear to be a little more green. But not over orange, really.
Danger says, all of the faded or pale colors are my favorite. It really changed how I paint. Nice.
Yeah, that desaturated brightness can help out models a lot, especially as you start working towards your highlight colors, right? Because you can start feeling better about mixing and blending in your highlights, getting brighter without it going to white, finding contrast easier for most people.
Blood Walrus, how you doing? Good to see everybody's smiling faces, and I'm assuming you're smiling.
Bold assumption.
Some might say it's the boldest.
Bold assumption, Chris.
That everybody's smiling today? No, that is. That's okay. If you're having a rough day out there, I'm sorry. I'm not responsible, but we're here for you. Ask any painting question, and we'll rub the painting genie lamp. And
I had to have Jen before she left. I had to have her give me an Advil.
You all right?
I never get headaches, but I got a headache today. It's been a heck of a day.
Now, do you get headaches with low pressure? Because it's supposed to rain this week, heavy.
Not usually, no.
I do, pretty bad actually. Really? I don't know what it is, man, but I get headaches pretty bad.
Gnarly.
What's that?
Gnarly.
Gnarly.
Are they gnarly?
Yes.
We're painting a surfer, so it's gnarly, Chris.
Cannibal, you're definitely irresponsible, Mr. Sushi. Cannibal.
Wow.
Calling me out.
Wow.
I don't think I'm irresponsible.
I felt that all the way over here.
I'll
Chris.
die. I'll die.
Just
die? I'll die. I'll die right now. No,
so much paperwork,
I was
Chris.
trying to say, I will.
It's way too much paperwork.
I don't know. Thank you. I like that Jason is adopting some of these realizations of mine. It's what is it called? Osmosis.
That is
When-
the
when you're-
absorption of water through a membrane. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like we're absorbing each other.
That's not what that
Like
is.
as we are closer
Okay.
in
Great. Okay, great.
proximity,
Great. Great.
right?
Great. Fan freaking great.
One would say that I am rubbing off on you. I mean, one might say that I am. What's the word I'm looking for, chat?
I'm going to have to kill him.
Influencing you?
Come to this, chat. Time to kill Chris.
Cannibal, I am responsible.
Maybe orange brown here?
Keep me accountable, chat.
Pikmin, what's going on? What's going on,
We got
Sinjin?
Pikmin, Xenobond. Does Jason have a headache after 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time? Typically, yes.
If I am, generally, if I'm going to have a headache.
Standing too close
I don't
to...
usually get a headache, but when I do, it's definitely after having had to deal with Chris for extended periods of
Standing
time.
too close to a Christopher might result in fatigue.
A little oversaturation of your brain neurons.
Fatigue. Yeah, a little fatigue. Maybe a little lightheadedness.
A little bit of saturation.
Tech Elf, what's going on?
Oversaturation of brain neurons.
This is a family-friendly show, Tech Elf. Thank you for keeping me responsible. Ray says this is getting weird. You haven't seen
What
nothing
happened?
yet.
What do you mean?
No, it's because I said I'm rubbing off on you.
Well, if you wouldn't hit the damn noise, it wouldn't be a big deal.
No, I'm sorry. I'm finished. Hey, take it easy, Chris. What are you doing? I got a little basket now.
Did somebody feed you?
Heck yeah, brother. That's okay. I'm trying to keep it chill today, chat. Trying to keep it chill.
Who fed the Chris?
What up, baby?
Is this Gabe?
My name's Christopher, and this is J Money, and we're here doing some painting today.
Why do you sound like
You never done seen
the
a good
rodeo
painting?
announcer?
I don't know, man, but all I know is that our paint goes on smooth here in a summer hot day. God bless America, and God bless our troops. We're painting up this beautiful gal, miss. She's not a mistress. She's a miss. She is a good miss. All right.
Maybe she's the mistress of the surf, Chris.
No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this one. That's a great call, Jason. The mistress of the surf. Wow. That's magical.
What they pay me
Pikmin,
the big
how you
bucks
doing?
For.
Spart has a question. I've been using satin black, but it beads up over any paint/primer I use. At any consistency or viscosity I try, even with other PA paints work great. Any ideas or tips to using it? Beads up.
No? Did you shake it well?
Did you shake it up? Sometimes you got to shake it up. Little Billy says, Jason, who are you taking to Taco Tuesday since Chris stabbed you in the back and didn't want to go with you anymore? The people want to know.
So here's the deal.
Here's my microphone. People
Sort of
wanna
in
know.
Chris's defense, but not really.
Oh, no, my little camera froze again. Yeah?
Was that he was afraid because he wanted to wait until Gabe could go too, and he knew before I did that Gabe couldn't go. Because Gabe had some whiny little cheesy excuse about going out with his wife or something like that. Anyway.
Brutal.
So.
Oh, my goodness.
Some whiny excuse about being married and wife and do. So Chris was actually doing a solid to Gabe. So I can't hold that against him, right? Because I applaud the friendship.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like they get another chance. I feel like that's the way it needs to go.
We get another chance.
No.
What do you mean we don't get another chance?
I said you get another chance.
What other chance? Take a chance, take a chance. I can't sing that. What am I
Take a
talking
chance
about?
on me.
No, Jason, no. Can't sing over 3 seconds.
What? That wasn't 3 seconds.
Take a chance off me? No. Stop it. Hey, Britt, I watched all the VODs for this model 2 days ago, and I'm excited to try underpainting technique for the next skin-riddled model. Nice. Also, cam border, let's go. That's right. Thank you.
You either get chalky or micro texture. What are we talking about?
Are you talking about the
A full minute on a Vortex mixer is a really bad thing. Let me interject here real quick that if you own a Vortex mixer, do not mix your acrylic paints on it. They're really horrible. Understand that a Vortex mixer is for mixing solutions, not suspensions. And to understand the difference there is that now it will agitate the bottle and mix it, but you don't ever leave it on for a minute. What happens is that a Vortex mixer spreads all of the particles inside of the mixture around in a way that isn't conducive for suspensions. Paint is a suspension, not a solution like salt water. If you put salt in water and put it on a Vortex mixer, you're going to get exactly what you want, which is salt water. It'll mix it up perfectly. When you put everything else on a Vortex mixer, the heavy solids in there, like the pigments, start to spread to the outside and then go inside and then spread to the outside and go inside. They don't actually mix as well as you might think if you do it for long, extended periods of time. I don't think that's what your problem is. If you're saying that the satin paint is beating up, though, worries me that there's an oily surface going on. Okay. That maybe the matte paints are being able to overcome quicker. Like maybe it has, I always call it Cheeto finger, right? But you may not eat Cheetos, but you get my drift. It could just be hand oil on the surface of the primer.
Yeah.
There are primers out there. Mostly the spray cans offered by our competition, and I don't mean that in our sprays are better, which they are, but that's not what I'm trying to say, is that a lot of times spray paint will settle over time. The hobby companies that sell spray paint don't sell near enough for it to not sit in stock for a long time, and so if it settles in the can and doesn't mix back up, you get a waxy surface that paint likes to beat up on. And so our paints are susceptible to that because of their longer dry time. So that could be a thing, but usually the satin is the paint that breaks that the easiest, so it usually has the easiest time working over that. If you're saying other PA paints are working fine and the satin isn't, that's why I asked if it was mixed well, because that would be where that leads me to think that perhaps it needed to be mixed better. But if you think it's mixed well, then I don't know. I would have you contact support, and they can help you.
Droth says you get chalky or micro texture.
From what?
Yeah, what are you talking about, Droth? Are you talking about from a certain paint or when you're doing a skin workup? Only for Vallejo paints. I shake my Pro Acryl paints. Yeah, Droth, let me know what where you're getting that texture, or give us an example.
Did we miss something that you said about when you're getting it?
I don't see it.
Realize that our paints are ultra matte, so there is a texture associated with matte paint that if you're used to other people's paints, you will think is a problem, but it isn't.
Yeah, Droth, give us an example. You say you don't know what you're doing wrong, but give us an example of what you're talking about, and we could potentially help you.
Yeah, we get that a lot where people are like, they've never used paints that are as matte as ours, and so a matte finish has, by its very nature, a slight texture to it. But chalkiness is done with our paints comes from thinning it too much.
Maybe that's what you're talking about, Droth, when you say chalky? Or micro texture? I don't know what micro texture means. You
over thin the paint because, again, a lot of the biggest thing that's tough for people to get used to when using Pro Acryl is not another paint made like every other paint. Pro Acryl is very different. It is a paint that is made to be an artist quality paint, not a house paint, not a hobby paint. It is an art grade paint made to use right out of the bottle. You don't have to thin it except for opacity. So if you start in and you begin to thin the paint too much, like you would with one of our competitors' paints, because their paints are thicker out of the bottle and you need to thin it in order for it to be paintable on a surface the way you want, you don't do that with our paint. And so if you over thin, like when you're glazing or just layering, you wind up in a situation where you can start to float the pigment around on the surface of the model too much. And when the pigment actually gets to where it collects when the paint starts to cure, you wind up with what people would consider to be like chalkiness, because you get clumps of pigment clumping up because they're skating around on the model surface too much due to how thin the paint is. So you have to be careful with that. Like I said, everything you see me doing here is on a dry palette right out of the bottle. Our paints are meant to just work right out of the bottle. The only moisture I use is the moisture on my brush. Even when you saw me glazing, we did it with the moisture on my brush and the paint on a dry palette for doing this entire model. So, yeah, and literally never an issue in 9 years. We developed the paint to just work. But that eludes a lot of people because they're used to having to work so hard to get the paint to work. that if you do those same techniques, just thinking it's what you need to do because of painting, like when you hear people say too thin coats and thin your paint and blah, blah, blah. It's like with Pro Acryl, it's just put the paint on the model.
Yeah.
Like you take the paint out of the bottle and you put it on the model and you're close. You can, maybe you need 2 layers to get the vibrancy you want, but then you can thin it however you like to make sure that you get the look that you're going for. But just be careful with that in terms of how much you thin. If you're only looking to get opacity, don't thin the paint at all.
So, Mark, I'll get to your question here in a second, Droth. Mark's asking, I'll be getting an airbrush soon. I fully intend to wear a wet respirator, but to spray acrylic primers, do I really need a spray booth? I mean, I'll be honest, Jason paints right next to all of this stuff, and it's super controlled. So, I mean, I would say
here's
no.
the thing. When it comes to health, because all this is health stuff, I'm no doctor, right? I'm not the guy who's going to tell you resoundingly what is right for your environment. You should always wear some form of protection so that you do not inhale any particulates into your lungs other than air. I do not use a vent hood of any kind. We have a larger studio here, so there's lots more air.
Well, we also have 2 massive airflow vents in here, I would say.
Yeah, so
there's a lot of circulation in this room. So,
but for most people, I would say if you're in your home, that's where you're doing it. Then I think that having a very good way to evacuate. You don't get a lot of fumes when doing acrylics, but there can be particulates depending on how you're spraying. Normally, it's a water base and you're adding more water to it, so the particles go straight onto the surface. They don't float around in the air. But if you're spraying for long periods of time, I mean, all of us know if you airbrush for hours and hours and hours and then you go blow your nose, that's all you need to know.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I put one of those little small room air purifiers on my desk with an ionizer.
Yep. And
I use that. I just turn it on like a low setting, and it's actually amazing how well it works.
Oh yeah.
Because I spray in my garage, in my open garage essentially. I'll put a mask on or whatever, but then I'll actually have like a little air purifier, and that has worked magic for me. Ross said, advanced flesh tone is creating a texture that's something like burgundy. Something like burgundy doesn't. So you're saying you're getting texture with advanced flesh tone, and then you say, okay, so I think the problem is I'm thinning the skins with too much water then maybe.
Yep, 100%.
That's what will definitely give you the chalkiness too, right?
100%. Like I said, our paint just works. Everything you see me paint, I paint with just the moisture on my brush and don't need anything else. So makes life a lot easier.
Derpstick says, I notice I get bubbles after I shake the paint and put drops down. Guessing I'm shaking the paint too much, question mark?
Yeah, that's just agitation. And
yeah, really getting at it. Just,
They go away. They won't stay. Like when you paint, they go away. You won't like get bubbles in the paint like some paints where the bubbles are actually like the resin bubbling up. And so they'll dry that way. You won't, not with us. It's just from, if you shake a water bottle too much, you get air bubbles in it too. Even though it's just water.
Yeah. Zopher, what's going on? Welcome in, everybody. I just use a box fan with a furnace filters taped to it. Yeah?
Yeah, that works.
Yep. I have a buddy who does something like that. Yeah. I like the little air purifier because it, it's easy to use. If you paint, Swagger says, so if you paint with just the wetness in the brush, how do you go between layering and glaze consistency?
Very easily, and dare I say, like instantaneously, right? Like, it's not instant, right? But I will sit here and be, layering in one spot, and then I will just go back and put more water on the brush if I want to go to glaze. Right? So like if that was a layer, then I go rinse my brush and I just take all of the water and only tap it like once on the paper towel. And then if I come back and grab the same paint, then all of a sudden I can be at this consistency because I left so much water on my brush that it gives me that glazing capability right out of the gates. but then now I can go straight back over to the same droplet on my palette, and I can be doing opaque detailing for edges. So I can glaze and then opaque and all that. I haven't messed anything up on the palette because I'm not thinning the droplet, right? My droplet isn't constantly becoming more diluted with a wet palette. It's always exactly the paint out of the bottle. Can you pull the big palette up?
Yeah.
Right? So here I'm working with this pale yellow, bright pale yellow. And so I will come over to the cup, rinse the brush. It has, however, this is a small brush. This is a 00, right? So pop back into the bigger can.
Yeah.
Right? And so you'll see it doesn't hold a ton of water, but it still has a lot for the size of the brush it is. See how
it has a lot.
So if I take that and then I go back over to the palette, go back over to the palette, if I just tap it lightly on the edge of the paint droplet and pull that away from the droplet, now I have this kind of slurry that I can use as a glaze. And then when I come back over here, right, that's how I'm doing this. Right? So that could be like a highlight glaze or whatever I need it for. But because then when I go back over here, the droplet is exactly the same as it was. I didn't dilute my paint. I did over here, but if I go straight back to the droplet, then when I go back over here, now I've got whatever consistency of paint I need immediately. So I'm able to switch on the fly. It's never about what I've made over here. It's only about what I'm making over here. It's about what I need the paint to do. I leave various amounts of water. And it's as easy as dipping the brush in the water and then pulling it over on the paper towel. And if I wipe it once, I've got a lot of water, I can glaze. If I wipe it twice, I can now layer but blend. And if I wipe it 3 or 4 times, now I'm getting edge highlighting consistency because I get pure opacity off of it. It's literally that simple the way I paint. 100% of what I paint is done that way. And I would tell you that it literally is like that. It's like leave most of the water on the brush if I want to glaze. Take 1 or 2 swipes of water off if I want to layer and do that edge blending, and then take most of the water off if I'm edge highlighting or texturing or something like that. There's variations in between that you can do, but a brush like this isn't going to have that. As soon as I hit it once or twice on the paper towel, it gets pretty dry because there's just not enough filament to hold that much water on it anymore. But I have a whole video on our YouTube channel where I talk about the way that you watch me brush paint everything. It doesn't matter what we're doing. You know, every model that I paint is done pretty much the same exact way. And unless we're dry brushing or airbrushing using other techniques. And the reason for that is that it's just so easy and effortless to get what you need at the time you need it and not have to mess around on the palette. I don't ever I'm lazy. I don't want to spend a lot of time on the palette. So I created ProAcryl to work the way that I'm talking about so that it just is easy. Just leave a little bit more or less water on your brush to do whatever the next thing is you need to do. And don't dilute the droplet of paint on your palette too much so that it becomes something you can't use for everything you need it to do. Leave the paint as it is right out of the bottle and it'll do everything you need it to do. 100%. Advanced flesh tone and tan flesh look chalky and have texture, but the other colors don't. Droth. I would send some photos over to support and they can get you helped out, but that's not jiving because advanced flesh tone is a satin paint. Tan flesh is a matte paint. So they work a little bit different, both of them. So I think it's something with your process and we can help you with that for sure. Like as far as like how you're thinning or how you're applying the paint, things like that.
Yeah, it's definitely getting that consistency to not be chalky takes some practice too, you know?
Yeah, and this is something that will help you with every paint you use. It's not exclusive to ProAcryl. ProAcryl just works better this way because it's made to work right out of the bottle. Like legit, I want to be, I airbrush our paints, most of them right out of the bottle when I want vibrant base coats, but I can thin the crap out of them. It's just that my version of thinning the crap out of a paint is different than your version of thinning the crap out of other paints you may have used. Because you'll probably put so much water into it, and when you do, there is a point where every paint breaks. It becomes less paint and more water, and water doesn't paint well. You still need it to be more paint, which is why ProAcryl is built the way it is for you to not have to think about much else than the water that's on your brush. Now, if you use a big number 6 brush or bigger, it can hold a lot of water, so you have to be careful there because you could be adding so much water in if you take all of the water that a brush will hold and start diluting with it. You could wind up just painting with water that has a little bit of colorant in it, and that will cause the pigment to bunch up. It floats around on the surface of the model. You'll see me paint on my thumb a lot. And most of the reason for that is to get the color off of my thumb. So if I come over here with, let's say I want to glaze a little bit of this orange brown. So I'll grab a little bit of this orange brown with the wetness in my brush. I didn't wipe any of the wetness out. So now this is a glaze, right? If I go over the top here, notice how I can see all the color underneath. So I've created a really good glaze just by leaving the water in this number 6 brush or number 4 brush that I've got, right? So I could do that all day. And that would be a great way to glaze, okay? But if I don't wipe off a lot of that on my hand, then now you would think, oh, there's no more paint, but there is. There's still a lot of paint here, right?
Yeah.
And this paint won't create a watery surface. It won't skate along the top of the model. This will give me exactly what I need for glazing, because now it's almost like I've taken all the moisture off. So it's just left with paint that's low opacity. If I were to just go to the model with all the paint I had down here, it creates a lot of wetness on the model.
Yeah.
And what happens in that is at the surface, the pigment's floating around. And the more water you have, the more it floats. And as the water evaporates, the pigment just locks in wherever it had to happen to randomly be because you spread it so far out. That can give you that weird texturing because you do that 6, 7, 8 times as you're glazing with a very thin paint, and the texture's randomly attaching itself to the model every time you do it. And so at the end, you might get the color you want, but it might be looking like it has a little bit of piled up color in areas and looks cloudy, looks textured, you know, chalky, people call it. And it's all because you're thinning too much. 100% thinning too much. I always tell people, try the paint right out of the bottle first. If you're trying to glaze with it, try just a little bit of water on your brush. You know, stop trying to purposefully thin it to become glazable. Try glazing with it with just a little bit of water on your brush. And to a test on a model, I'm not telling you to ruin your model and go at, you know, because again, you'll hear me say going with less opacity is always better because you can layer back up. But there's a point where that becomes problematic. If you are taking more than 3 or possibly 4 layers to glaze a color on your model, I'm of the mindset you're doing it wrong. Because you're stripping vibrancy out of the color you're glazing. If it takes you 12, 13 layers to glaze back up, you're losing vibrancy. You're causing yourself a lot of heartache and way too much work. So I'm talking about like 3, 4 layers is what you should be looking for. And that first one should be overly thin so that when you put it on, if you're scared of the color it's going to do, because I am, a lot of times you'll see me go super thin with my first layer of every color when I'm layering, because that way I don't mess anything up. And I see if I like the color, I see if that's the right place for it. And if it is, then the next time I use it, I don't thin it as much. So I immediately go away from that low opacity into higher opacity, even though it still may be see-through, and then layer up like that, and I can get where I need to be in 2, maybe 3. I mean, every step along the way when we were glazing the skin tones over the underpaint on her was at max 3 layers of color. Max. Most of them were 2. So when you think about that, you can get a lot of color laid over. And I mean, for those of you that may not have been here, this model started out as
Go check
bright
out
green, red.
Go check out Monday's thumbnail.
Right. This model started off these colors. Bismuth yellow, right? And where's the red? Red oxide. Did I put it away? Oh, red oxide. Those 4 colors are what this model was, right? Like, no joke, you go look at it, it looked like, somebody said the Predator's heat vision, and it did. It looked like some sort of infrared vision kind of craziness. And then we glazed the skin tone over, and you can see the tones that I got with about 3 or 4 different colors of skin mixed together, but each one of those was only 2 layers, and you can still see some of the red oxide, you can see the royal purple under there, you can see some of the greens between the muscles on the stomach, the yellow is in all of the bright areas, right? So that's a whole lesson on underpainting, but the reality is because you can't see any of these colors at their full vibrancy, even though they were, right? That yellow jumped off the surface like a beacon, but now you won't tell because of my glazing, and all of my glazing was like 2, maybe 3 layers of paint to sink all those colors. So the proof's in the pudding. You just have to get used to how to approach it, knowing that you don't want to be too opaque because that can mess your model up, right? You don't want to be so thin because that gives you weird textures and takes forever. Right? You know, glazing 10, 11, 12 layers to get something to turn the color you want is frustrating to me when you can always do it in 2 to 3. Guaranteed. No matter what you're doing. Just got to control consistency of the paint. And it's tough because if you're using different manufacturers, every manufacturer's paint will dilute differently unless you're using one of the myriads that are made in the same factory, right? You'll find that some brands work identical to other brands because they're made by the same factory. And that can give you some comfort, but then you'll pick in a line like ProGrill and it'll work totally different. So you have to take that little bit of time to remember, like, the paint you're using, whatever it is, Vallejo, whatever you're using. They will all work a little bit differently with regards to how they thin and then how they apply that thin color.
Will the undercoating method work for skin tones working for 32 scale faces, 32 mil? I imagine the sections are much smaller, so I'm not sure if it's noticeable.
Yeah, we did a video. It's on YouTube. Maybe Chris can dig up the link. But then when doing faces here, let me just show you real quick on my thumb. Right, I'll just put a little bit of paint on. So if you look back at the VOD, or if you've been watching me paint this surfer girl, you'll know that I was a little more detailed in where the color went. You know, yeah. I took a little bit more time to show you where and why the colors were going in the locations that they were. But I'll just take the 3 main colors in the purple, the green, and the red that I would be using. Okay, so on her, mostly it was like consider the whole thing purple. I didn't, but you consider paint the whole thing purple. And then going with the green on all the like highlight levels, like if you zenithal primed, and then the red stitches them together. And I came in and did the green and the muscles and blah 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 blah. You're right. At scale, you don't have the same ability. So let's assume you're painting a Space Marine, right? Here, let me do this. Let me grab some black real quick. Make this a tad more realistic, because I don't have a model here that I can just paint real quick. Right? Or do we?
Yeah. Is there a crone right by you?
Huh?
Isn't there a crone?
No, it specifically said small scale. So doing a big scale defeats the purpose, because it's like faking. Right? But I don't think I have anything with a human face that's at scale that I could just paint one real quick. Otherwise I would. I need like a lieutenant, like a Space Marine lieutenant without a helmet on is what I need, but I don't have anything here.
I have a little rebel guy. I have that little rebel guy that Jordan did the camo on. Is that too small?
Oh no, that'll work.
I think it might work actually.
Here, let's do this. Let's just do this, right? This is already primed too. So we've got one of these Star Wars Legion Rebels, right? One of the new Rebels. So his helmet's all covered up, so this kind of limits our space on there even more, right? Because it has the earmuffs on it. Well, let's do this, right? So this is perfect. So I'll just take a brush, whatever. It doesn't have to be super fine or anything. Depends, if the helmet was already painted, you might, right? But let's just do this. Let's go ahead and paint the whole face purple. Is the easiest thing to do when you're working at small scale. Don't take the time to try to, section it off too much. And there, you're done. Star Wars.
I was kind of thinking that in my mind, like, oh, and you're done.
The only problem with this is that it never dries fast enough, so I have to fill the time with fart jokes. So
I have that little
What's that?
I had that little blower somewhere.
Oh yeah. Is it still over here? Or no? You took it back.
I think I was cleaning my desk with it earlier.
Oh, look at you.
Oh,
You have it?
No. It's pretty powerful. Click it once.
Click what ones?
That top button.
Uh-huh.
Is it not working?
Oh, there you
go.
Wow, that's loud.
It's okay. I have a noise gate on, so. And
Jesus Christ!
It goes up to 1,
it goes
2,
up to
like
3.
It's great.
We've gone plaid. All right, we have that. Chat. That's
and it's instantly dried.
That's a dangerous tool right there. Okay, then we'll take the green. And now he doesn't have a whole lot of forehead because he's wearing the helmet.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and we'll take the green and.
Can you come up just a touch?
Actually, on him, pop in closer.
Yeah.
Like this doesn't help him. Yeah. So I'm gonna do the red first because he doesn't have a forehead because of the helmet or the hat, right? So we'll take the red. And notice how even when I'm not painting super thin, I take some of the liquid over here because if you have a bubble of paint or like a big droplet of paint on your brush, that droplet's going to create way too much liquid on the model. So then I'm just going to do this real quick, and I'm going to go straight across. Like think of it in terms of a raccoon mask,
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to go straight across the eyes. Normally you would catch the ears with this. Make sure we get just below the cheeks. Right? Boom.
Just
there you go. So purple on the chin, upper lip. Think about where your beard and mustache would be. Needs to be purple. Assuming you're doing a male. If you're doing a female, you can do where I've done the purple, you can do that green. Because females don't have the hair follicles in their face, so they don't get that same grayishness, that dark color of, like, we call it 5 o'clock shadow, even if you haven't shaved. Men, the skin here with the pores and the hair follicles in it tends to be darker anyway. So that's why the purple works for males. Dark blue, dark purple for males. The dark camel green, yellow green for females. Because it becomes more fatty tissue for females. So you don't have to do the purple. Actually, don't do the purple, because once you paint a female's face like that, it will look a little too masculine with those shadows on it. So be careful, unless that's what you're going for. Okay. Then we can take the green. Again, making sure I only have the amount of paint on the brush I want. And on the green, I'm going to get just the top of the cheek area here. The red's a little bit too wet still. Top of the nose, of the cheek. I do 2 coats of the green.
Okay, so is the green a little bit thinner right now, or
it's because the red was still wet?
Oh, okay.
So it blended right with it.
You come up just a little. Perfect. I know this one's a super tight.
Right.
Nice.
So something like that.
Okay.
Right. And then we take our skin tone. So on this one, let's just use Shadow Flesh. Right. I'm going to hit this with this obnoxious.
Hold down on that.
Okay.
There it is.
That's the worst user interface I've ever seen.
It's a little tough.
This is like one of those oddly named Chinese things. Like
it works great though on electronics. Like if you know, it's essentially
you gotta blow all the garbage out of your keyboard and stuff, I'm sure.
Oh, it does.
He's insane.
Kind of nice for that.
Hook-a-doke.
Okay. And we're back.
So then I'll just take, like I mentioned before, I'll just grab this 00 brush. I'll even do it with a very small brush.
Yeah.
And then just whatever water it'll hold. I rinse it off in the cup, and then I don't wipe it on any kind of, where did it go? There. I don't wipe it off on the paper towel. It's just loaded with water. Then I'll come over to the palette. I'll grab a little tail out of the Shadow Flesh, and that turns it into a thin enough paint for me to glaze with. Take off some of that material on my thumb.
Yep.
This lets you test how opaque it is. You can see all that color through it, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Bingo. And then you just go in and you do the same thing you've seen me do. We just start glazing with that. We put it on the skin. You can kind of see the effect starting even after just one coat.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. And you just keep working that up.
And then you just keep doing the same thing. But yeah, that's the premise. Right? It's going to be hard here because I'm going to overwork this very quickly because we don't have any other place to paint. So normally you would go do something else on the model. Because I'll tear this paint probably. Coming right back after it like I'm doing.
Mm.
Then you just keep layering up across the skin where you want it. Make sure it doesn't look like he has clown paint on, because you have these clown paint colors underneath the skin. So you don't want any pure red, pure green, or pure purple showing. Make sure you have the skin tone over all of them.
It definitely, from like even like punching out, when you look at that, you start to see how it blends though from...
Well, yeah, you've already got a 5 o'clock shadow on it.
Yeah.
You've got rosy cheeks. The green was a little darker than I wanted it. You might use bright yellow green there, so it looks a little bit more fatty on the top of the cheeks. But he is wearing a hat, so it wouldn't be super bright there. But you start getting the idea of it very, very quickly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? And so this can give you a lot of depth and a lot of interest on a face super fast. I mean, we've painted tons of our Space Marines and stuff like this.
I mean, you're
we did this guy like that, right?
Your Old Hammer guy.
And we did that little guy same way.
Yep.
So,
Mark says, "Wow, I've never would have thought to reach for red and purple when painting a face."
Yeah.
Nice. Hopefully that answers your question there.
And at scale, you just get to play with it more, right? Because you just have more. I mean, you can see on Antogio LT Gray, same thing was done.
And I also, just so that everybody knows, I've just put that link up for that video. That's an amazing in-between. Here, I'll do it again. That whole workup of that face is that link that I just sent.
Right? So you can do all sorts of cool stuff with it as you get up in scale. But even at small scale, it works great.
Rugabug Gaming. Hey, Jason and Chris. I'm in the middle of painting some demon dogs. No fur, just flesh. I want them to be black, but no paint. Not paint with them with just black, if you know what I mean. What sort of colors would you achieve to get that sort of effect?
I love the Payne's gray or blue black or you name it. Like you can imagine what I've done with these crows.
Well, that's cool.
Right?
I like that.
There's no black on these. They still look I mean, they read as black birds. Right now we've got light over here, so the highlight of the feathers and stuff shows. But, you know, this is all done with Payne's gray. There's a little bit of royal purple in there, you know, and then we move up through the highlights by adding in white blue to the Payne's gray.
Yeah.
Right? So that it gets a little bit blue, and then the purple in the shadows. And I love that for, like, demon flesh. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
Right? It's, like, perfect.
Mm.
Especially when you're doing it thin. I would not go as bright as this if you didn't have fur, right? Because these are like the oily feather of the birds that takes me up that bright. But you can imagine stopping in this level.
Yeah.
Right? We have just a tinge of bluishness to it from the white blue, which white blue is not very blue. The Payne's gray has more blue in it, but it starts to gray out when you have the white blue to it.
Yeah.
So it still reads as black. It's the same kind of thing that I do for most of what I paint black, although I might change, you know, how it looks. Like this is black armor, but there's no black paint.
Right? You talk about using those dark blues, though.
Yeah, this has probably got black wash over the top of it I did on this, but I painted it all up with, again, the white blue, Payne's gray, and then I use black wash over the top of it, so that you get a bluishness to your black. So blues and purples work really, really great to give black some depth, especially on skin. To me, I don't know that I have it in my head what it makes it feel like, but you know, it's like, I'm trying to think. I'm not going to remember. There was like a monster in a movie once that was like shiny black skin, but it had like a bluish purple hue to it every time it got in the light. Oh. And so those types of things I really like, and it always stuck with me as making things look more interesting, because just painting a black bird doesn't make any sense, but you want it to, when people look at it, you want it to feel like, oh yeah, it's a raven, and ravens are that midnight black, but you can do it with all sorts of other colors in it and make it cool still. So that's my goal when I do things like that.
George says, do you guys have any good recommendations for books to get good at miniature painting?
Get good.
You can watch this live book from 2 to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah, we do an audio book here every day.
We do a podcast, what do you want to call it? Podcast, teaching.
So, Light and Color is a great book. There are some great books that aren't about painting miniatures that help you more than I think any of the miniature books. Although, like, you know, Angel Heraldez does a series of books where he talks about miniature painting, and they've gotten progressively better. The first one was kind of like Finish the Damn Owl. It didn't really reveal a lot of the steps that were necessary and assumed that you had a lot more capability than you would have if you're reading that book, I think.
Yeah.
He's gotten progressively better at how he talks through the steps, so those are good if you can find them for specific miniature painting.
Right.
But in the world of just painting in general, remember that the big thing that we're trying to do is fake the viewer into looking at light and darkness on an object, right? We have the innate ability through painting three-dimensional objects that they also cast their own shadows and have their own volumes, right? Because she's three-dimensional, right? She has a body that takes up space and has its own curves, and so we just paint the shadows on there. We still have to reproduce the idea of light because a gray model doesn't have any of that. But if you look at light and color and how the interplay between them works, then you learn the most of what you need to do to be a proficient painter at anything, whether you want to paint a canvas or a model or whatever. So that's really where I tell people, because value and volume do all of the heavy lifting. Being able to paint so that you can get shapes and textures and contrast on the model is way more important than any color aspects. Now, color factors in there because obviously bright colors bring more value, dark colors bring that volume and contrast in with the bright colors, so they work in tandem. But a lot of people get bogged down choosing colors, and you can get into analysis paralysis when that's not even the most important part. The most important part is trying to figure out how to develop contrast so that you can see what the textures are. So like if I put a Vespid on the table at a distance, right, pull the camera out.
Yeah.
Right, and you want to be able to see the elements on there.
Yeah.
So you can still, at the 3-foot test, still see contrast on the wings. You can see the blue on the wings. So you're trying to create that illusion so that you can still see all the lines on the panels. That's why we edge highlight and all of that, so that it separates things. So you're wanting to just find that contrast is more important than what color it is. Now you can still screw it all up by choosing colors that are like, what the heck? But you know, I always tell people that if you learn to paint in black and white, with grays and blacks and whites in order to achieve contrast and volume and texture, make fur look like fur, hair look like hair, metal look like metal, cloth look like cloth. That brush technique that you need, whether it's stippling or hatching or smooth blending to get all your materials to feel different, that's really where you win as a painter. That's the get good part, right? When we joke and stick our tongue in our cheek and say, good, scrub. The reality is we're talking about all of that. And that's where the magic happens. And so that's why a lot of people will be like, practice. But if you don't know what to practice, just painting color on models won't ever really, you'll get good because you'll start learning your own techniques that show you what you like. Like you'll do a brush stroke and you really like it, so you'll start repeating that. Sometimes without even knowing how. That's just how we self-teach. And with painting, if you can focus on those things, like learning different brushing techniques like stippling and then things like glazing and layering and wet blending, ways to get colors to interact to one another on the model and what it gives you texture-wise, then you start finding your way around color better. Because now when you use a color, you know how to make it work with the colors you already have on the model to get better results, right? And yeah, just hang out. Find somebody that speaks in a way that you can recognize and learn from. I know that I don't necessarily talk in a way that everybody can learn easily from, so find somebody who does do that for you, and then just stick with it. You know, keep watching those programs, keep watching those YouTube videos, keep going to those Twitch streams, keep going to those classes. Maybe you have somebody locally that teaches painting classes, and just soak it all up. You're going to walk into all of them and say, oh yeah, I already knew that. But you'll hopefully get something out of every time you talk to a painter. Even I learn stuff from the most newbie painters sometimes because they're out self-teaching and they come up with something I wouldn't have even thought of. I'd be like, how did you do that? You know, there's like this guy that is like, oh, this is my second model. I'm like, how did you get this effect? Oh, I just took a paper towel and dabbed it into the wet paint and it gave me this texture. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that? It's like faux painting on a wall to get that sponge texture that makes it look like stucco. It's like, well, of course you can do that on models. And I wouldn't have thought of that, you know, and here's somebody that's just like, you know, it just makes sense.
I just did this thing.
You know, because that's what they just did on their kitchen wall. So you can learn something from everybody.
Danger says, I'm finishing up my Venom model. All the white is white blue. It looks good. Should I move up to the white or leave it as is? I'm worried to read too blue due to the highlights in the black. Well, if it looks good...
The highlights in your black. You're worried it'll read too blue if you don't go to white? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that's what Danger you're saying.
I wouldn't go to white.
And here's the key.
The white-blue will give you all the contrast you need to appear white.
And you said it looks good. So if if something looks good, I'm not an expert, but maybe
it's hard because I don't have a whole lot. Well, I mean, what did we just pull out that was black, like the black armor?
Your black
this guy.
Tonio?
Huh?
Tonio El Tigre?
Yeah, when I'm looking at stuff like this is more akin to what I would call Venom Black. Right?
Venom Black,
and it's been done with blues, transparent blue and transparent black, and then white blue as a highlight. So there's no white on this.
Yeah,
right?
Venom Black. Yeah, I like that.
And you get a really good contrast out of it that doesn't make it look too blue. And I think, again, if Venom has a little bit of bluishness in it like this guy does, it's perfect. because that's what black does. Black very, very rarely reads as pure black in the real world. It just doesn't. Because whether it's reflective and it gets the color of the sky and the blues of the sky or the environment around it, there's always a reason to have more color in black. And it makes it come alive because black is such a flat, dull, neutral color anyway. The same way white is. So you always want to try to find something that brings it alive.
Yeah.
And I like the kind of bluishness, right? You can look at that, you can see a little bit of blue in it, but it's not so much that you can't also tell it was intended to be black. Now, in this particular guy, I use the airbrush to filter the transparent blue and transparent black mixed together down from the top. And from the bottom, I did it with transparent red and transparent black. So there's more warmth from the bottom up that keeps some contrast on it. But you don't have to do that. And this is on one of our YouTube videos, painting this whole guy. I forget what it's called, from messy to, I don't remember.
You're asking for the
Shanky, we just painted an ultramarine.
Yeah, here you go. That is the last day of that. You'll see it in the also in the thumbnail, but if you want to see him do the final touches, that's the link to that day. Shanky.
This was just done as a really fast get it on the table, like what I would do if I were painting something but still wanted to have like characters look good on the table, right?
That's pretty dang good, Jason. I like that.
It came out really good, and it was really, really fast. This was 90% done with dry brushing.
3 days, I would say within that 3 days, what, 4 hours? Maybe
3 to 4 hours of real painting.
Real painting. Like quickly.
You know, because here we do 2 hours a day on the stream. We took 3 days to paint him, and we talk for half the time.
Yep.
Like we're doing now. So, but the reality is this is 90% dry brush, right? And it was a great model. I would be super stoked to put an army that looked like this out on the table. And I could have done, had I had the whole thing done, like the whole army built, I could have done all of these, most of these processes, right? Until you get to where you're doing the individual baubles and skulls on every individual model and the shoulder thing, you know, the things that they all share together, like the blue armor, the skin, the gold, all of that, you could have done like a whole army and just not too much more time to get the base colors on them. You do want to have the creamiest blend that requires 10 plus glazes to perfect. I should be using the glaze and wash medium to extend how translucent I can go without breaking it. You could very well, yeah. Because the glaze and wash medium, the reason it exists is if you do want to, and see, here's the thing, you don't even need the 10 plus glazes to do the smooth blends. You still only need 3 to 4 tops, period, right? Like if you look at like Flame On doesn't do like 15, right? He literally only does 2 or 3 of each color because he's doing it in such a finite space that there's no way. He just doesn't want to do that all the time. So when he does his blends like this, these blends between his blocky, all of his colors that were on here were literally like a circle and a circle and a circle, and it looks comical. And then he just blends them with a few glazes in between each. The reason he doesn't need as many is because there's more color per glaze. The color is still see-through, so you have to be very careful in your application because it has more vibrancy, more potency to it, but it's still see-through. So as long as you're a little bit more careful, you take a little bit more time with each brush stroke, a little bit more deliberate, then you don't have to do as many layers, and you get the color you want. You see the work happen quicker that way, right? And so you can make really, really super smooth blends in, I won't say no time. It takes him a while to paint this, right? Because he spends a lot of time thinking about his light and his placement on his non-metallic metal. But at the end of the day, you can do it and not have to do 15 layers. But the glaze, it doesn't change the fact that the glaze wash medium keeps the viscosity like paint, which is the key. So it doesn't get watery, but it lowers the opacity. That's why we make the glaze wash medium, 100%. So if you're learning to glaze and you want, and we did the last couple of colors on the skin with that. So if you go back in the videos, I talk about that a lot. I go and I mix the highlight skin colors with the glaze wash medium and a little bit of water, and I show how the viscosity is different, but you can still do the exact same glazing with it.
So Zilfer's saying, if I follow the exact same scheme from the Ultramarine tutorial with airbrush instead of dry brush, would it still come out good even with the burnt sienna underneath?
No.
It's a different effect,
it's
right?
It's a different effect, right? The reason that the burnt sienna, like the rust color, works is because the dry brush covers most of it up. When you airbrush, in order to cover up all of that in the same way, you'd cover it up entirely. It wouldn't be worth anything. So if you're airbrushing, you do the burnt sienna as more of a wash or a pin wash later on. You do it as a topical effect. If you're dry brushing, you can do it first and speed yourself up.
Yeah.
With airbrushing, I do like dark purple underneath, like just a normal, like my normal, ultramarine workup. I would just do like dark purple up underneath, and then I would do the blues. This was all done with airbrush, right? And then if I wanted that rusty feeling, I would either apply it with weathering pigments on the legs like I have for the red earth, or I would do it after the fact in between the armor panels and stuff. So there's a difference in how that works just because of the technique of paint application. The dry brush allows a more randomized pattern of the color underneath to show through, which gives it that dirty effect. The airbrush doesn't. The airbrush, no matter what you do, is going to look way more put together, right? And then the brighter color underneath isn't going to make much sense, I don't think. You can play with it, but I wouldn't start that way.
It's about after looking at your captain and now looking at mine looks terrible. Hey, it's about the process.
No, not at all.
It's about the process.
Not at all. If yours has paint on it, it looks awesome.
That's a good point.
Should we mix the Pro Acryl glaze medium with some water just like Noosh? I generally do because it's thicker than the paint. So if you just go paint into glaze and wash medium, it may be thicker than you like. It kind of feels like snot. So it's meant to be thicker so that when you add water to it, it doesn't break down. So you do a little bit of paint, you do the glaze wash medium, and then just a few drops of water, not much, and then it'll even it out and make it feel back like the paint. You think a lot of people overapply water to their glaze and say it breaks down, but it might be good to remember to recommend the medium. Yeah, Law Dog, exactly. And I do tend to forget because I talk about my process a lot of the time. Every time I glaze to blend, it never actually gets to the blended result. Am I stopping too early? You may be using the wrong, depending on the size. So a lot of what Flame-On does is stippling his glaze.
He stipples his glaze?
Yeah, when you stipple the glaze, it breaks the lines up. Because paint, when you're blending it, is blending in the line of paint matching the other color where they come together. Okay?
So
let's take some time. Are you okay, Chris, if I just take some time to show stuff off today?
No, I think this is
I'm not really doing anything but painting baubles on her anyway.
No, this is great.
What do I have that
do you have another texture trainer?
It's really rough that I could blend.
Any texture trainer? Oh, you're talking about wanting to blend something?
I can use texture trainer. I can use anything. I don't care. But on this one, I can use this. Oh, here's good.
That's Mashik's.
This is actually Mashik's texture trainer. This is the one where he was doing that.
Yeah,
right?
You could just show him.
So this is pre-blending.
Yeah.
Right? So let's zoom in close
Yep.
on this, right? So if you look at the elbow, that's the way he paints pre-blend. It turns out like this.
It's wild how that does that.
This looked exactly like this, other than it's round.
Right,
so the shapes were different. This was circles. This is rectangles.
Yep.
But let me show you. Right? This will piss him off. Eat your heart out, Mashik. Okay, so what he does is he takes just normal colors. One of the brilliant things is that we built a set with him that this is bright pale yellow and this is the bright yellow ochre. Okay?
Yeah.
Just straight.
He was doing this at Adepticon in 2024.
Yeah. So what we need to do here is we need to come up with a mix of these two colors, right? Because where you want them to blend, you want to build a mix of those two colors and stipple it in there to create a third line of color that blurs that line. But if I just paint that third line of color in with a glaze, I'm going to get color, color, color again, and it's still going to not look blended. It'll look a little more blended because every time you add a mixture of color in between, you fool the eye into thinking they start to bridge together better. But there's a tiny space, right? So we'll take the two colors he's used, which is bright yellow ochre and bright pale yellow.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was called stipple glazing, right? Like to break up those lines.
Glazing is a technique of thinning out a paint and putting it over another one so that you get a hue shift. A filter, right, is what that's called. So wash is technically glazing.
Okay.
Right? We call it wash. Nobody else uses that
term. A wash
term.
is a glaze. Yeah, right.
You know, that's just a made-up thing in the hobby. I don't know where it came from.
It's a tool, not necessarily a...
I mean, there are oil washes and stuff like that. But, you know, typically when you do a filter or a glaze, that's what we're talking about, right? We're taking a thin opacity paint, whether naturally so, like a single pigment, you know, quinacridone magenta that you can see through anyway, and painting it over the top of something, or thinning it down to lose its vibrancy at the same point.
Right.
So I've got those two colors over here. I'll just take my small brush, right, and I'll mix up a little bit of that paint.
Right.
And we'll get a color in between the two, like so. Okay. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Then I'll wet my brush down, get my glaze ready, come over here on my thumb, right, and test my glaze so that I can see through it. Yep, that feels good.
More, okay.
Okay. And then over here, what we want to do is we can, like if I can get that on there, right? I can take it and I can just kind of, if I go linear in between the two, you'll see that I can start to filter and blend it, right? But I've got to be really great at feathering in order to do that. So I might do that the first time here. Oh, that's the wrong color underneath. And then, but really what I want to be doing is I want to take it and I want to just kind of tap that color in.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right?
Now.
And if I tap that color in, now I've gotten rid of that line.
Yeah.
At both ends. So I can kind of just do that. Right?
Yeah.
Now I can start having those colors blend together more.
Okay.
And I might want to work back and forth and bring more color into it.
Yes, these are micro little, stipple glaze or whatever you were saying, like blending.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But you can see just very quickly how
It's
I've
how it
blended
starts
those
to,
two together, and you lose the line.
Oh,
right? And then he just literally does that with every color combo. He's insane. Like he's legit insane.
Yeah, it's beautiful work of art, but
because
also...
he's just taking the tip of the brush and he's just sitting there, dot, 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 brush stroke, dot, 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 brush stroke. But that's all he's doing. And he's literally only doing it 1 or 2 times between each line because you realize you run out of space real quick. But that brightness now just blended all the way to this dark line.
Well,
and then you can just keep working it. I don't know if he starts dark to bright or bright to dark. It doesn't really matter. But it gets rid of that line almost instantaneously. And we could do that everywhere those two colors come together. Like up here, you could do the same thing. Across the breastplate, up here, you could do the same thing.
I mean, this part of the axe right here, this top one, that's a beautiful example of how to set it all up, right?
Yeah, because he likes to go in and he just blocks it all together like that, right? Because it shows that sketching ability so that you can see, okay, this is what I'm thinking. I want my brightness here. I want my, my reflection to cross this line, do this. And it makes it a lot easier to navigate at the end of the day.
Crazy.
So yeah, he just comes in.
It's
so
a lot
when
of
you say you're
work.
glazing, again, it's not about 10 or 15 layers. It's about making sure that you got that color mix that you're glazing with. You're not glazing with just one of the colors. You're mixing them together maybe, and then stippling it together so that you get that smooth blend.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we lost entirely that line in between the colors.
Yeah.
In one pass.
Interesting. A very, very meticulous process.
That one is. I don't do that.
Why? Well, no, I know why. Why? I guess it's more of that just gets his artistic taste fulfilled in his mind, right? It's a very interesting process.
Yeah, I would have to ask him, like, what caused that to be a thing that he decided
That's my
to do.
question.
But blocking in, the sketching in of value for him is really simple because he paints it in very blocky constructs because it's almost geometric. It's like this shape, this shape, this shape, this shape. So it all goes very quick as he blocks it around the model and he can adjust it very quickly. Me, I'm very sketchy at that point because I'm a 2D artist from birth, right?
Yeah.
So my whole thing, if you told me to draw Spider-Man, you would get this cloud of pencil marks as I determined the pose.
Yeah, right.
And then I would refine that into nice lines as I went. He's starting with nice lines and then distorting his nice lines. So I would be interested to find out if he started painting and doesn't draw.
Yeah.
I started drawing and didn't paint. So I came at it from a different direction where all my stuff is crazy chaos that says, if you asked me to draw you something, I'd be like, are we talking something like this? Before I spent too much time on it, I would want to know I got it right.
Yeah.
And so then I narrow it down.
He's almost working
and I refine it as I go, but I start real loose. He starts real refined and then blends it so that it continues to be refined.
It's almost like he's working backwards in a way.
He likes his textures to be a lot more controlled than me too. Mine are very chaotic, right? I mean, zoom in close on her and you'll see the difference, right? Like as I've gone and blended, this is what I like.
Yeah.
Right?
But it looks...
She almost looks like she has like horse fur, right? It's like the texture makes it look like she's fuzzy.
I guess so.
Like she could be fuzzy. But because I use that on everything, right, it still reads correctly. It's just that's more my style. I like texture. It doesn't mean that I can't blend smooth, but for me, texture makes it artistic, makes it feel more loose like me, like it is exploratory, as opposed to just refined. But his metals are just phenomenal. Like it's like otherworldly.
Textures. That's why...
More nuts!
That's why judging competitions, I'm sure, is just such a crapshoot in a way, right? Like, because everybody's got such a different taste. You know?
Yeah.
Like just in general.
Well, there's
like,
many ways to perform art as our artists, right? We all know this, right? You know, as a filmmaker or as a commercial guy in shooting film, that you could ask 100 film guys to go shoot the exact same scene.
Yeah.
And they would all set it up a little different. They would have a different vision for it. They would have, and you would get 100 different films.
Yeah.
Right. Some of them might be very close, but even those wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
Because everybody's vision is going to be a little different for what they want the final product to be.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I always am worried when people who are not comfortable necessarily in art as a basis, right, for miniature painting, especially if we come into it because we want to throw dice and blow up Space Marines.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you come into it and you start to want to mimic, if your vision is you just want it to look really cool, and you start mimicking what you see other people do, it's not going to look the same because your style is going to be different. You don't know how the brush control, you don't know what they did to get there. It's like when I see people say, hey, what color did you use to paint that skin? And I tell them, and but it's not going to look the same.
No,
because I can tell you every color I use, but unless you go through and do the same technique, the color is meaningless.
The technique really makes everything stand out, right?
It would be interesting to watch me attempt something like that.
Well, you kind of did it. Didn't you do it on your little Thanos a little bit? Isn't that kind of similar?
If I blended Thanos, because the way that I structured Thanos is very much the same way that he did. I did Thanos with no blends, right? But this is exactly the same thing that Flame On does, right?
But then you did it. Then you stopped.
I didn't blend it.
You stopped, essentially.
Because the idea here was that nothing on it is blended. We wanted to show how you could get a cohesive look for even non-metallic metal by never doing anything blended.
Yeah, I love how this model turned out.
Yeah, this was just showing you what you can do with the power of mixing colors. So you stage your colors through 4 or 5 colors doing the jade, and you wind up getting what looks like a smooth transition when you pop in again and you notice that there's no blends on this at all. It's all one little geometric shape placed inside another geometric shape. I literally didn't blend a damn thing on this model.
I would like to try this style at some point. Because I like how this style looks, right?
Especially on these models, it's fantastic. I think if I could do the entire Marvel United universe this way, I would do it.
I would love to do orcs this way. Like their big muscles and how their muscles stick out, right? And the green.
Orcs would be kind of neat for this.
Yeah.
Right? But the idea being that you can achieve the look without having to necessarily do smooth blends.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of people that they struggle with that concept of how do I make it look smooth? Mine never can blend that way. I can't do it. And I'm like, well, you can work the opposite direction and make sure you don't blend. You just still have to know where to place the color.
Because that looks smooth. That model looks smooth.
Yeah.
It doesn't look not smooth.
Right. Right. But it is, at the end it pulls off the same effect, but very, very differently.
Yeah.
Right. Look at the two shoulders. Look at his shoulder with the circle and this shoulder with the circle. They're very similar.
That's where that started.
Their approach, but with the blending, it is a totally different feel. Right. But they both read as gold.
Interesting.
So, again, it's up to you as to how you would like to pursue doing that. There is no rule. The rule is do it the way it makes you like it. That's the only rule for art. Don't worry about what other people say. If you dig it, it feels good, looks good to you, then you're done.
Yeah, man.
And you can continue.
Amen.
And then just continue to put new tools in your toolbox so that you can consistently push yourself to further extremes. You can get satisfied if you just want to paint your models so your ultramarines look good on the table, you can be fine and you can do the same thing over and over again. If you find yourself stuck because you don't feel like you're ever getting better, whatever that means, I don't like that term, but you don't feel like you're pushing your style any further, you're not finding any change in your art, then it's time to break out and start doing something new. Come join one of our Discord challenges and do something you would never do, paint with only 2 colors and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Is that Thanos in one of the VODs? No, probably not. That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was
I think
a long
it predates this room.
Nice, Danger. That's a good idea, right? To have it like black and white newsprint and then the colored characters are coming off of it. I like that idea.
Yeah.
It's like watching HBO with a lot of banding, like back in the day. You were trying to watch Skinamax.
Skinamax. After
dark, and you didn't pay for the
or paint Christmas in July. That's right, Panic Bomb. Panic Bomb. Speaking of Christmas in July.
What?
Next week. Get ready.
Is it next week?
Dude.
Oh my God, it is.
Is it?
No.
Don't quote
it's following
me.
week. Oh no, it is next week.
Yeah, dude. Technically. There's 1 week after there. Yes, Christmas does not fall on the 31st in my mind for some reason in July. It's on the 25th. So yes, it is next week, the 3rd week of July. Get ready. Everybody put that on your calendar right now. Spread the news. And by news, I mean the news, right? The news of Christmas in July. Next week is always next week. TK421, that is extremely profound. Thank you. Absolutely. Next week is always next week. Man, you guys are smart cookies. Prophetic. Profound. Excellent. Exceptional. What's that? What'd you say? I don't know, man. Spread the noosh. Thank you, Nibling. Spread the noosh. That's a rim shot. Any chance Pro will be at the San Diego Comic-Con? No, not this year.
Unfortunately.
Jason, I would have... Wad says, Jason, I would have done no such thing. What are you talking about, Wad? Breaking noosh? Thank you, Vitals. Breaking noosh. I like that. We will be at TwitchCon this year, too.
Oh, yep.
We will be at TwitchCon.
I think that's going to be pretty fun.
Rattlecans, are we smart fellas or fart smellers? I don't know.
You're a fart smeller.
You tell us, Rattlecan. You decide, America. And by America, I mean you, the people, we, the people. Welcome in, everybody. It is 3:25 p.m. Jason's been giving us some beautiful painting knowledge. A lot of cool tips today, Jason.
Why, thank you, Chris.
Thank you for... Jason, thank you so much for giving us your time. I'm not even kidding. Like, I hope you are learning something. We value you guys here a lot. We talk about chat a lot. We talk about our community a lot. We truly do value you, even though it doesn't seem like it, and even though you guys bury me alive from 2 to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time every day. I still love you. Jason still loves you. You guys suffer through the jokes, the sound, and pretty soon a gavel with a powdered wig.
I have no reason not to love them. They treat me pretty well.
What's that?
They treat me pretty well.
I know. I just learned Chris is approaching Jason for a pay raise later today. False. And my name is spelled C-H-R-I-S. TK421, not K. I'm not one of those who are also the very fancy Chris's, in my opinion. I'm not as fancy with a K. We've got the classic CH. Little Billy says, we can't bury you alive, Chris. Your personality is already dead.
Damn, Little Billy.
That's a good one, though. Your personality is already dead. Danger says, yes, very much so. We appreciate you so much, Jason, the Bob Ross of our mini painting world.
Why, thank you.
That's right. Brutal! Chris is not like the other girls. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. Tadpole Jackson, welcome in.
It really does mean a lot that you guys give up time in your beautiful days to come in and hang out with us, especially with Chris. The fact that you put up with
Full
us
stop.
is pretty amazing.
Full stop, period.
Pretty amazing.
You know what, Jason? You're right.
I know a lot of whats, a couple of who's, and even a mo.
You're right, Jason. I need to back it up sometimes. You know? But what I do know is keeping us on track. And we're painting up a model today. Surprise, surprise. It's a painting stream. What are you doing with bone?
I'm going to do bone. Well, I'm doing these little beads, but I don't know that
I love bone.
I don't know that bone's the right color.
That one's funny. That one's a silly button.
Oh, my God.
What's this one? Oh,
that
hey,
one more
hey,
appropriate.
boo.
Way more appropriate.
Hey, everybody take it easy. Brutal
Way
Burrito.
more appropriate.
Thank you so much for that 15 months.
Way more appropriate there.
Could be a puke armlet. Oh, a puke arm. You mean polka. You said puke, which I'm like, oh, maybe it is like one of those like stress relief ones that like keeps you from not being nauseous. Have you ever seen those?
Yes.
I don't know. Have you ever used one of those?
No.
You haven't? You
What?
seen one of those bracelets that like doesn't keep you nauseous?
Do I get nauseous ever?
Do you?
Never.
We're just learning a lot of things. Hey, it's okay. Chris gonna try the stream band. No, I'm not getting what Droth. I am a humble man.
I never know what to do, chat.
What do you mean you don't know what to do?
All I do is apologize.
You don't need
shake
to
my head a
apologize for
lot.
me. I'm an adult man.
I apologize and shake my head a lot.
A wise man once told me, do. It's 2 p.m., Chris.
Oh boy.
It's time for stream.
I've never said do.
You just did.
That's
Clipped. Got him. There it is.
Do I even have to say it? Do you see what I deal with?
That's one of the survey questions. What is Jason's catchphrase? And there's many options for you to choose from.
Oh boy.
And the world will decide, chat. The world will decide.
Oh boy.
Droth, I'm an adult. I'm not a part of your system. TwitchCon is just a setup for the stream police to arrest Chris.
One can only hope.
Thank you, Panic Bomb. I'll take that as a compliment.
One can only hope.
You're going to have to give him one of those to put up with Chris. I never know. I ride that fine line here at Monument, right? That fine line of we want to punch Chris or where's Chris? The building's on fire. You know, I kind of ride in between those that vibe, you know.
You mean you set the building on fire?
No, just like if there's a fire, I will always try to put it out.
Oh.
Metaphorically, physically, whatever you want.
Oh.
I'm fighting fires.
Gotcha.
You know?
I didn't know that
Call
about
me
you.
Smokey the Bear.
I didn't know that about you.
Only you can prevent forest fires. Which is 100% true.
So Chris and Gabe have convinced me
Wait a second.
to play a game.
Oh, okay. Alexander, are you guys bringing kiddie pools to TwitchCon? Like half the guests? Oh my gosh, what? What is this nonsense?
To live stream in a bikini? Is that what we're asking?
Is that what we're doing at TwitchCon, Jason? And by we, I mean you.
That's what Twitch has devolved into sometimes, right?
Yes, you are playing a game with us, Jason.
So supposedly at TwitchCon, I don't have all the details yet, and I have to get them information today, I think, about the name of the thing I'm doing.
Okay.
But they've asked me to do a interactive presentation to paint a miniature.
An interactive presentation to paint a miniature.
Yeah, I will be painting a miniature live at TwitchCon.
Okay.
With, I don't remember if it's 150 or 200 people in this thing.
Oh, with what setup?
We haven't talked about that yet. No, it's a deal where they haven't confirmed that it'll be live on the Twitch channel, but it's a big thing that they want to do where they want to have people there that are attending to be able to come and paint miniatures and really push the miniature section of Twitch. They're really happy about it. There's some really active people in there, and it's been great talking with them. We had a meeting last week, and I'm super stoked. So I'll have more information coming up, but it looks like I will be attending TwitchCon because I will be doing the presentation. We will be painting. It'll be kind of an intermediary, kind of between beginner and intermediate type of deal. So if you're at TwitchCon, you'll be able to come sit with me and a bunch of others, and it's a one and done deal. It's only one of them happening. It's not multiple classes during the weekend. It's a one thing. It's a one shot, chat.
Really?
Yeah, you'll come into this big classroom.
I thought it was just a paint and take.
Well, there is a paint and take there too.
Oh.
But they've added this on to where we can do this, and Twitch is sponsoring it, and it's a big deal. So
interesting.
There you go.
Huh.
That's the thing. That should be fun.
The more you know. So Bo says, so you're going to be teaching these 150 people at once?
Yeah.
They should have you on a stream in Las Vegas Sphere. That would be hilarious.
That would be awesome.
Could you imagine just like bubble-faced?
That would be so good.
Rutabaga Games, thank you so much, Rutabaga. Appreciate that. Thank you for that sub. Wow, that's pretty cool, Jason. That'll be fun.
So there you go. The Mo you know.
The Mo you know.
We know Mo.
Well, anyway, I'm gonna leave, but I have one last question. And this is about how to practice brush. Okay. Because from what I hear, it is all the most important part of learning how to paint miniatures. You didn't finish your sentence there. I'm assuming brush control, George, is what you're saying. I'm going to leave, but how to practice brush control? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I would imagine that's what you mean. How to practice brush control?
I think picking what you want to paint and start with things that are like, I mean, like I'm painting hair right now with just kind of very wispy strokes and stuff. And so being able to kind of just get used to pulling brush strokes that follow the lines is a good way to do it. Stippling, to learn those types of techniques is a great way to learn brush control. So there's a bunch of them out there. Even your blending techniques, all of that. A lot of that is personalized to the way you like to paint, as far as like what you focus on. But yeah, I think those are great ways to do it.
Droth says, I ditched the wet palette for a ceramic tile. Instant improvement.
Telling you, man, wet palette is one of the biggest nemesis towards people being able to reach their real kind of level of painter, I think, right out of the gates. It's just one of those things that a lot of people are like, you know what, you ought to have one of these, and they can work wonders. They're a great tool to have. But when you say that you just have to have it and you start trying to force it in on your process, it doesn't work for everything. It just doesn't. People can make it work for everything, right? I can drive a hammer with a screwdriver.
Yeah.
But that ain't really going to be the way you want to build a house. So I'm not a fan of them. I don't say don't have them. I don't use one. But don't have it be something that you think you've got to use in order to really make your, painting look like the pros, if that's what your goal is.
Right. It's looking good. I like that hair.
Going step by step, white, blue into Payne's gray. That's all we're doing. Just a little bit more. If you want to shoot over to the palette real quick.
Yeah.
I've pulled the Payne's gray into the white blue, and I'm just now adding more white blue into that same area each time I go, so that I get, blended color of this like grayish blue that comes out of doing that. It desaturates it every time. And this is kind of one of those brush control things. It's like just using the side of the brush and just taking these very, very quick swipes at the model. More pressure when I want it to get thick, less pressure when I want to keep it thin, and just finding a way to kind of float through the texture of hair with the brush strokes so that I can get the idea of those loose clumps of hair. If I spend a lot of time, I could paint each one of these individually, right, and get it like exactly following the lines, but then I lose a little bit of creativity in that for me.
Tadpole Jackson says, I feel like I'm finally getting a good paint consistency thanks to this stream. I just put down a second layer on my orc skin, and it went down so buttery smooth and had good coverage.
Awesome.
Love that.
Yeah,
Thank you, George. You have a good night. Absolutely. We love answering those kinds of questions. And when I mean
you guys had a tremendously great array of questions today. Hopefully we've been able to throw some good answers your way.
Jason, I think they've been very good. And
I like being able to take the time to kind of break off and show things.
Yes.
So I think that the quick facial glaze and things like that is always great. I'm hoping it works for you, because the questions today have been really rooted in just some fundamentals. And that's the kind of thing that helps everybody. Just tuning in, you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Even if you never talk in chat, hopefully you're getting something from other people that are asking these questions today, because I think all of these topics are very relevant to everybody that's painting miniatures, no matter how long you've been doing it.
And no matter what you're painting, they're pretty universal. TK says, my wife says Namor's, I think that's Namor's skin, is too red. How do I tone down? Namor's skin?
Namor. Prince Namor.
Oh, okay.
Too red.
Prince
what
Namor.
colors are you using? Because it could just be desaturating it with less of a red skin tone, right? Something like advanced flesh tone glazed over the top could be really good.
Mo, we talked a lot about chalkiness today and consistency, and, that would be the main one.
Mo, do you see how good Chris is getting? Because a couple of weeks ago, he would have just said no.
No.
Yeah?
Not a couple weeks ago.
Maybe yesterday?
No.
Friday?
I'm always good, Jason.
Oh, I don't know about all that. Mo, you can attest there was a day where he would have just said no.
No, we're not doing that,
Get
Mo.
it earlier, Mo.
Rewind.
Jeez.
It's called backwards. No, Mo.
Alexander Eiffel, I am using a mixture of Payne's Gray and White Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
White
so this is all
blue.
there is. This is one of my favorite non-metallic metal workups. I just use these two colors. Bang.
I love those
It's
colors.
for steel and black hair.
Yeah.
But on black hair, we'll go back over it at the end with black wash
Yeah.
to knock it back down. But it gives a really good raven black again, right? It's like
Yeah.
asking about black armor and all that stuff. Is I love starting with blues, no blacks at all. It just makes life so much better. So that's what we're doing.
Listening to chat, I'm learning new things to say to my coworkers. Thanks a little Billy. False. Mo says, I was expecting that no answer. Mo,
See?
I'm here for you, man.
But he's turning a new leaf, Mo. I don't know what happened.
You know what?
I'm not going to say that it was anything I did, but
I think
maybe those veiled threats in the background are working.
Yeah, the veiled threats are very very consistent. I'm gonna have to reevaluate what's my little camera here, chat. It keeps freezing on me for some reason. Those two should be great. Also monochrome, old RPG art style. Yeah. Let's see where. Yeah, TK, let us know your colors. I want to make sure we answer what reds you're using. Namor.
Or what skin tones.
Yeah.
You could also just walk up to your wife or girlfriend, I forget which, and you could say, take the red glasses off. You could do that. I don't know that that will turn out well for you, but it would be life-changing.
Rugabug says, I never normally catch you live, so happy to finally be a part of chat. We are so glad you are. Buying my Pro Acrylic paints and watching the stream have massively improved my painting.
Awesome.
I used to use contrast paints exclusively. So happy with my new progression. Thank you.
Awesome.
Poster.
Love to hear it.
We'll put that on the billboard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That stuff is what means the world to me, right? Because this stream has been such a great thing for me over the years.
Yeah.
Number one, keeps me motivated to paint because I get to come in and have great conversations with you, gang. And, you know, you come up with great questions that push me to think about things differently because I've got to, on the fly, just kind of be like, oh, you know what? I hadn't thought about that, but let's think. Let's paint a mini. Let's see what that would look like. You know, I get color ideas. I get questions about what if I did something like this? What would you recommend? So it really keeps me firmly rooted in the idea that I don't know everything. And that's great, right? Because it allows me to explore new stuff with you, and we get to have really good amounts of exploration.
Chat really gets you thinking.
And painting. So I love it. Chris and I will end the stream a lot of times and be like, holy cow, the content was driven by you guys today.
Yeah,
we didn't really do anything.
The more...
I mean, Chris doesn't ever do anything. But
hey, whoa, hey, take it easy there,
Can you
Jimmy.
say I'm wrong? Honestly, can you say I'm wrong?
Yes.
What do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah, what do you do?
Would you like it in a song or in a survey?
I think a song.
Dun, 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 dun. Dang it, that was the wrong one.
Paid professional.
Well,
Chad.
there it is.
Paid professional on a closed course. Don't try this at home.
I'll see myself to the door. Chris does do stuff. Thank you, little Billy. Every once in a while. He flops around like a fish out of water.
Ba-bump, bump. Da, 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 da.
That's a long boo. All I can remember for the streams is Jason wants me to hunt and butcher my own meat. And that in the rural parts, they have clubs where they do that at high schools and they give out free meat. All I remember from stream is that Jason wants me to hunt and butcher my own meat?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, give me my survey. Oh, little Billy, you'll get a survey. You'll get a survey.
Oh, you'll get a survey.
Oh, you'll get a survey.
He's cooking this up. You should have.
Nightbling.
Last night, and we did hobby night or hobby day, and we went out and had like Taco Sunday.
Yes.
Right, and because we're in Arizona and that's what you do. It's Mexican food 24 hours a day here,
Which is a great thing, actually.
and we went out.
Yeah.
And Christopher went on the longest rambling nonsensical journey that I have ever been a party to about this damn thing he's going to do for you guys, this survey.
The survey.
He's really into this, and it scares me how into it he is. It's like verging on the, hey, did you light animals on fire as a child kind of conversation.
I just want you all to know that I won't give the survey out until my piece of art we're talking a lot about art in this stream, is fully complete. You will not get an uncompleted survey.
We're not going to get a half-baked survey?
No. You are going to get something forged
in the
fires of Mount Doom.
Of Mount Doom. Gotcha.
Technically Black Mountain, if we would like to really talk about it. The mountain I live right next to is called Black Mountain.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fires Mount Doom.
Interesting.
So anyway, it is totally interesting. Super interesting. Yeah, so get ready, everybody. Rob the Bald says, I'm also someone that just switched to Pro Acrylic and also switched away from wet palette. Game changers. Love this paint and I've learned a ton from old videos you've posted. I love the full package of your paint and community.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for being part of that community.
Yes.
It only works because of you, gang.
Yeah.
We'd be sitting
100%.
here talking to nobody.
And we'll talk.
And we'll still talk. We'd still be
There could be one person in here and we're satisfied.
But no, this has been a godsend for me. It's not a joke. I got asked by one of our competitors, believe it or not, was at Contrast.
Oh.
And they said, how do you continue to do the stream as much as you do and run the business too? And I was like, it's just the commitment I have.
This is the business.
It's just as good for me as it is for anybody else. So there's a level of selfishness to it that isn't toxic. But it's there, and I don't mind it. You know, I'm like, I love doing what I do. I love painting miniatures. I love painting miniatures with my friends. I've made all these friends on the internet, and it just works. All right, now we're going to jump like we would with metallic metal, or non-metallic metal. We're going to jump from where we're at now. I've blended quite a bit. I've got good volume to the hair. I've got some highlights and stuff. We can see it on there. Now we're going to jump to just white blue. Right, so we've been doing the white blue with the Payne's Gray. Now we're just going to jump to pure white blue. So that's a big transition. This is exactly how I would paint non-metallic metal. Right, and then up here where the shine would be, the halo of shine that goes across the hair. Now we'll pull a little bit more individual, a little less of the big chonky lines. But again, I like to use that real wispy brush stroke, I call it. Just kind of fast. And barely touching like halfway through the brush stroke because it gives that shape of hair, right? It when you do a fast brush stroke and you do it in kind of the normal pulling your, I'll do it exaggerated here to show you what I'm talking about. I'll get the Payne's Gray to show you, right? So when you do it, you can think that, you know, I can do a line, right? I can do a line that stays pretty even in its, you can go in close. Okay. You know, I do a line that can stay even if I'm doing texture. But when I do these wispy strokes, it's almost, and I'm going to have to elaborate it here because it kind of starts thin and then gets thick and then ends thin again, right? So it makes that kind of almost little elliptical feel when you do your brush stroke that way. And that's part of that brush control is that you're kind of doing a pendulum stroke with your hand. That's just natural. So if you keep it consistent, it doesn't hit very heavy here and then through the middle of the stroke gets really heavy and then pulls off in that kind of calligraphy sense. So that gives me the idea of like hair follicles or hair strands because it gives you a shape to your brush stroke. So a lot of times that's why you'll see me doing those wispy little hits with the brush. Yeah. Because it creates a shape to it that not only gives me a little texture to play with, but brings life to things like hair.
Yeah. Zilfer says, business-wise, I can honestly tell you that I have 100% bought more of your paints because the guy who made this paint paints with them on stream and gives me confidence he couldn't sell me bad paint.
Wow, thank you.
That's why we do it.
That's huge.
We're not going to use something that we wouldn't use ourselves or make something.
Yeah, right? We know a lot of people sometimes will be like, you know, hey,
Jason
why don't you make
XYZ
thing? I'd love to buy it from you instead of your competitor or something. Like, and I'm like, because I don't use it.
You've been asked about like wet palettes before, right? Or you're just like, it's not my thing. It's not my gig.
It doesn't feel natural for me, and this is, I'm an old man. The reality is there, and there's just a part of me that's like, if I can't sit here and 100% be confident in telling you why I use it and why you should use it or what you might see from using it,
then why would you?
Then why would I even talk about it?
Yeah.
And if I'm not going to be comfortable talking about it like that, then why would I make it? And that just exists. That's just the truth. So I'm glad that comes through for you because that means a lot to me. That's, you know, my brand of craziness paints this way. I love painting. It's not for everyone. It's not just that I'm not talking about the painting technique, but the types of tools that I use. Do what's right for you. If I can help you along that journey, give you some confidence in what you're doing, then I'm here for it. Right? That's kind of the thing. So thank you for paying attention and finding that you're the same kind of crazy I am. As horrible as that sounds.
Terrence says the authenticity of these streams is what made me a consumer. Most companies would hide behind a paywall for the same content with less frequency.
Yeah, we've never charged for the content. We used to do giveaways back before we made product. We used to do giveaways on the stream, and we would do like donation trackers. And when it got to a certain point, we'd give away products and stuff. But I've always believed that the value of learning, I didn't have to pay for much of what I've learned in painting, whether that was because I stumbled upon it on my own, or some old graybeard like me taught me when I was a kid asking stupid questions at the hobby store. Whatever it was, I didn't have to pay. I had free classes with Shepherd Paint as a youth, right? Because the hobby store knew that I was a young kid, and the hobby store didn't make me pay the way they made the other attendees pay.
Yeah.
They told my grandmother she could just bring me in.
That's
so
cool.
She just sat me down, and I didn't know at the time. The guy just made a book I love called How to Build Dioramas. And I sat there. I don't know how old I was. I don't even remember. I wasn't even a teenager yet, or barely. And I sat down, and he gave a class, and I just got to have fun. And that was all free. And so I feel like the reality is, as kumbaya drum circle as this may feel, I really believe that art is to be shared, because if we stop sharing art, we stop having good art. As soon as it's all locked behind paywalls, nobody does art anymore, right? Or only the people that go behind the paywall can afford to do the art, and everybody else is struggling to learn. And so I'm very free with the teaching, and I love that, right? I get asked a lot of time to come do classes at events, and I'm like, as long as we don't charge for it. So I did the AMG one, was the first class I've done in an event because it wasn't charged for.
Yeah. That was, you haven't done that in a while either. Well, and I say done that in
they
a while.
They may have charged for it, but it was very minimal because they had to do the pay for the room or whatever.
And we do this every day, technically, right?
100%.
So you're teaching every day.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate those comments.
Means the world. Really does. We'll be here doing this until I can't do it anymore.
97. I could see Jason here at 97.
Oh, geez.
Technology will be at a place where he's half man, half robot. Beep boop.
Okay, now that I'm interested in.
We'll get him. We'll be fine. We'll put him in a dreadnought suit.
Ooh. So I can purge the heretic while painting? I can be like...
Purge the heretic while painting this blood.
Burn, heretic.
Now watch me paint my decal. That's great. We'll keep him up. We're gonna cryo freeze Jason, by the way. I'm gonna personally see this as my life goal. We're gonna cryo freeze Jason.
Do I get a vote?
Nope.
Oh, damn it.
No, sir. I've made this decision.
I kind of don't. Like, when it's done, I don't know that I want to come back.
Nah, we're gonna bring you back.
Damn it.
Hey, wake up, man! Stuff's crazy, dude. You're like, put me back to sleep.
Yeah, please.
Oh my God, no!
I said I didn't want this.
I thought this was the end. Jason teaches, Chris clowns. That's right. Every day from 2 to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Mountain Standard Time is, in fact, a unit of standard measurement here in the United States. It is not an oil company.
It is not a unit of measurement.
And how do you join the Discord? Great question. Here you go. Look at those links here in chat. Boom. Welcome in. Fart jokes. Painting is your duty. Eternal. That's right.
That's a poop joke.
Is it?
Duty.
Zilfer. Filling out Chris's surveys from heaven. Yes. And they will be... Oh, you guys are going to love it.
Oh, jeez.
I'll give you a taste.
I'm not really sure anybody loves a survey.
You're right. So only the very few, the very passionate, fiery few will take on the challenge. And I will respect you. Real respect. None of this flimsy crap. I will respect you wholeheartedly. If you take my survey, I will respect you.
Wait, back up. What flimsy respect is?
I don't know. I'm just making up words. If you want to paint to look more like dead, like Frankenstein or zombie, what tip for building up your own skin recipe? So skin that looks like Frankenstein or zombie, says TK421. Do you copy?
I really like that horse we did.
It's great.
Showing people,
I
right?
freaking love that. Here, go check that out, TK. I know you. You probably saw that stream, but if you go back to April 4th, I believe, it was a couple days after we announced some really amazing products coming out soon. In 2056. But if you go look at April, like the April stream, April 4th. Yep, that's when we started. Go look at April 4th. And guess what? You don't even have to, because I'm going to clip this. Bing, bada, bing. What is that in your hand? Holy Moses! What is this? What is that?
You see what they do?
Holy cow!
You see what they do when I'm not around?
Sweet Mary Magdalene and the Saints. Is that a new product? Holy Moses. Bag of krill. Wow. I didn't think he'd tease it again. It's back, people. The new bag of krill colors.
So this may be a little more green than you like, but there's a video of this, and if you go back and watch it, it will be very evident how you can have less green, more of the pale flesh. Because it was a creature, I like the idea of having it more green. This is very kind of a Dark Soulsy kind of character, so it made sense to have it be a little funky.
And that is,
but this would work equally well for doing zombies, Frankenstein style colors, all that kind of stuff. I think it's a great, very simple method to do that. So go watch that video.
TK, that clip is what he's saying before it got to that workup. That was like the base skin that he's talking about. He did that on the 4th. Look up that link. Click it. We are getting bagger krill. Yes, yes.
It's not a thing.
Just
not
saying.
A thing.
Hell of a lot of pigment. That's right, Bellacore.
Hell of a lot of
That's
pigment.
1,000% more pigment.
I think he said it was something like 1,000%.
Oh, it's 1,000% more pigment because we add the most pigment to our paints.
Oh my God, this guy, this freaking guy, chat.
Yeah, we're getting bag of krill tech, Elf. You saw it here first. Huge news. I can't believe he did that again, man. What is that? What are you doing here? What are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing? I'm painting because this is a paint, win, fun stream.
I love
this
that
is
you
not,
just said that. It's fun summer painting.
This is not Chris talk about nonsense.
Jason,
stream.
You're making a mix right now?
No, it's just black wash and water.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
It's 3:55.
Well, that's what I do, Chris, is I piss you off because I go long.
You don't ever piss me off, Jason.
That's what I do, Chris.
You don't do that.
Black wash, pa-da.
With a little water. Oh, look at that sweet, sassy molassy. That looks great. Did I hear you say you're going to do painting demonstration at Monument Con? This is Monument Con every day.
Yeah,
we're gonna get there one day, chat. We're gonna have a MonuCon.
No, we're not.
One of these days.
Well, and here's the problem: as I said, not until Chris runs it, and he'll be like, "Sign me up." Chris, that is Chris's lifelong goal.
We'll do our own con at some point. I think it would be fun. Everybody will be there, including us.
So the problem is the business plan for this is okay. How much money are we willing to lose, right? Because I'm going to have to sell this to the entire staff because we do profit sharing here. So in order to do something like that, I got to get everybody's buy-in.
Speaking of profit share, it is entirely at MonuCon this year.
Yeah, so guys and gals, you're not going to get any profit sharing this year because we're going to go spend it all on a convention.
But there's going to be a live circus.
Jesus Christ. It's going to be horrible.
Oh, my. No, we let the other people do that. We're going to be at Nova this year. We're going to be at Gen Con. We're going to have our subcategory in Nova, if you all saw our post from a little while ago. So if you're going to Nova, paint up a texture trainer. There's going to be, obviously, you're going to be able to submit that into the bus category unless otherwise dictated with story. And after that, we're also going to gather up all of those and judge them ourselves for a subcategory.
What are they going to get?
That is going to be something to be determined,
You going to
Jason.
give something away?
You want to know what you get? You get the original copy of my survey. That's your prize. No, we'll have something even better than that.
That's crazy talk, Chris.
I know.
Give away an original? Is it signed?
Oh yes, you best believe. No, we're thinking of a couple different prizes, and those are to be announced. Chat
TBD.
TBD,
as the kids say.
Yes, but like I said, if you're going to Nova, paint up some beautiful, beautiful texture trainers. We're excited to see them. If you're going to Nova. I was thinking maybe it'd be kind of fun to do that as the challenge for Nova for people who couldn't get there, right? For the November or August challenge.
Okay, yeah. For people that couldn't go.
It could be kind of fun to do that in August. Paint up a texture trainer. That's a challenge.
I love it.
Just in case you can't go to Nova, you can still participate in just the fun of painting up a texture trainer.
Oh my God! By the way, chat, do I have some amazing things I can only tease you with verbally and can't show you for the next texture trainers?
Ah, yes.
Holy macaroni. Chat, did you ever wonder what it might be like if some of your favorite fantasy artists worked with Monument Hobbies? Have you ever wondered that? I mean, have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and been like, you know what? You know what I wish?
What do you wish, Jason?
I wish some of my favorite artists would work with Monument Hobbies.
Oh, interesting.
To create something really cool.
Who are these people, Jason?
Like maybe some new character designs for texture trainers and new things to paint.
Cannibal saying, Brahm? ? Give it to me now, says Little Billy. Frank? Says Frank Rosetta's? Who knows? Who are these people? We don't know. Well, we do know. You don't know. Nope, not that. Jason, what are you talking about?
Oh, I know.
Are you going to tell us, or are you going to just tease us like a sassy little fun time boy?
That amazing black hair.
That's a great black hair.
It's really easy. Just paint is gray, white, blue, and black wash. There you go. Boom, black hair.
The best. There it is, TK421. We're bringing Bob Ross literally back from the dead.
Yes.
We have figured out necromancy, and he is alive and in studio. Welcome, Bob Ross. No, we're kidding.
As he scuttle bones in.
Could you imagine? We've paid millions of dollars, to come up with the perfect, massive AI GPT of Bob Ross. That's what we've done with everything here.
Not at all what we've done, but
could you imagine? We brought Bob Ross back from the dead, and he's using Pro-Acryl. No.
Bag-Acryl.
What are you talking about, Jason?
Never heard it.
You can't just do that. Look at all these. You can't just look at all these crazy things. Look at this. You can't just tease the people and then say we have to go because it's 4:01 p.m. Mountain
is it 4:01? We gotta go. Sorry. See you later, chat. Bye.
Wow. I almost turned it off.
Anybody know Adrian Smith?
I know Adrian Smith.
Anybody ever heard of Adrian Smith? Feels like he might have done some artwork for the world's largest war game.
I don't know. Do your research.
Is that a thing?
It is.
Is that a thing? Does anybody know who I'm talking about? I mean, he's not very well known, but anybody know? Anybody know?
Sugar Rush. Whoa, Bo's like, why, yes, I do know of Adrian.
Might you have ever heard of Adrian Smith?
Check him out. There could be some stuff coming, chat. Big things. Big things coming. We always have something in the pocket. No, it's not. It's not the guitarist from Iron Maiden.
Yes, that guy.
Same guy.
Same exact guy. Just some guy.
Yeah, Adrian Smith, the guitarist.
Sugar
from
Rush,
Iron
the brush
Maiden.
cleaner should be back in stock today.
Yep. Adrian Smith, the guitarist for Iron Maiden.
Did everybody just Google Adrian Smith and what came up was Iron Maiden's guitar player?
That's him. Same
That's
guy.
Funny. I'm going to tell Adrian, hey, I didn't know that you were on. That's why it takes so long to get the artist, because you're on tour.
Yeah, you're on. Check him out. Some cool things coming, chat. And a U.S. representative. That's funny. Jason likes to tease you guys. I don't do this. I don't promote this. I'm just here.
Just grumpy. Good to see you. Hope you and the woman are doing well.
Thank you guys so much.
Spassnet says, I don't have to Google. That's my favorite band.
You don't have to Google it.
Run to the hills.
When can you show us something about this, Mo? Very, very pragmatic. He's like, when can you show us this? Mo's done with the teasing. Mo's been here long enough to be. He's sick of the teasing. He's like, well, gosh darn it, I'm sick of this teasing. I'm sick of this teasing. Jason, it's time.
The Punisher says, I don't know if hate is as big as you're making it sound.
Hate?
I'm talking about Warhammer. Not hate.
No, the Punisher.
Punisher. I'm talking about a little game named Warhammer you might know.
Look it up.
You might have heard of it before.
I don't think so.
Adrian has done some of the absolute most iconic artwork that I remember getting into Warhammer with. So all the orcs and goblins stuff, and then the chaos stuff that he did, the Space Marines. And Mo's balls can't get any bluer. He's done with your teasing.
Mo's been around for every single tease.
What?
What are you even talking about, Jason?
I mean, I'm not going to show you.
You're going to show us. Oh.
No, the first time you're going to see it is when I'm painting it.
Oh.
Which might be soon.
Oh. How soon? No questions. You only get one question. No free pub.
No free pub.
No free pub for you guys. We'll give the pub.
Punisher's like, never heard of it. Too busy with hate. The models from Hate are fantastic. We've painted quite a few of them.
Shut up and take my money. Hey, you came at the right time. Yes, quitting time.
And Zilfer, you're gonna love. I think you guys and gals are gonna love what I've got cooking up with Adrian. It is some amazing stuff. I will give you a taste. The line, it's 3 miniatures that are called the Outlaws, and I think you're gonna dig it.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna dig it. I am super stoked. We go into sculpting next week with them, I think. And so just as soon as the sculpts get back and we can start in, it's gonna be a new product range for us. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So, we're done. It's 4:05.
It's 4:05.
I don't know about you, Chris, but I like leaving them with a lot of thoughts rolling around in their heads of things that they wish they knew more about. So
yes.
So I'll take them out. So
you take us out.
Make sure to follow all of the links that Chris put up in chat. We love having you guys and gals here. Thank you so much for dropping by and spending your Monday with us. Hope you had a wonderful weekend and that your week is starting off amazingly. We do this thing, this crazy live thing Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here from the wonderful Monument HQ in Phoenix, Arizona, where it's like 100 million degrees. I did not say doot. You
just did.
Damn it. Always happens to me like this.
It does.
See, my balls. Don't clip that. So, how do they get me to say these things?
I don't know.
It's
got him.
It's like I got foot and mouth disease. But thanks so much. Wonderful stream. I love all the questions. Hopefully we got to show you something that you learn from, take off and get inspired and do some painting.
Great questions.
We did some black hair. We painted some baubles on her arm. So we got this miniature going. We'll be painting her throughout the week. It'll be fun. I think Friday I'm off.
You're off, and Jordan and I will be here doing some fun
Jordan will be doing the stream
times.
on Friday. Jen and I have decided that once a month we're going to take a day, and at lunch she's going to come grab me. We're going to go do lunch and take the day off.
Yep. So you'll have me and Jordan painting up some stuff.
This Friday, so you'll be seeing that. And then I'll be gone Monday too.
You're going to be gone Monday?
I'm gone Monday too.
Where are you going?
Because I'm in Illinois.
Why?
I'm in Peoria, Illinois.
But why?
Things. Super secret things. So anyway.
You're not going to be here? Oh my gosh, my camera froze at the perfect time.
Oh, that's awesome. But
no, it's horrible. What? You're leaving us? That's fine. We'll figure it out, chat.
But thank you so much, like everything. If you're new around here, if you came in through one of the raids or you just find us on the internet for the first time, please hit that follow button here on Twitch. We'd love to see you around more. It's a great time, great space. Like I said, check out the links. Peoria, Illinois. Why in the world are you going to Peoria, Illinois? Right? Exactly. That's exactly what he looked like, too, that face. So I have a secret thing with John Deere.
We're in the tractor business
We're now in the tractor
Monument
business.
Tractors.
Monument farm equipment. So stick around and show some love in the chat. We'll wind up in. Chris is going to find us somebody to raid. Hopefully get some more good hobby going for you throughout the evening, and we will catch you back here tomorrow. Thanks so much, gang. Adios.